If President Mwai Kibaki came back today, what would you tell him? How do you say thank you to a man who gave millions of children the chance to dream?
The government will provide free secondary education from January 1st, the year 2008.
How do we tell him that the gift he once gave us is now being taken away?
It is now evident the country can no longer sustain free education to over 16 million students across primary and secondary schools.
This is not just a video. This is a letter from a nation that is in pain.
We can't be stupid as a whole country. Mwai Kibaki was elected. After 4 days, education was free. Siku nne.
From mothers who now cry because they can't afford school fees. From fathers who work 2 jobs but still can't afford school.
Sisi nataka kuambia William Samoei Ruto, there is no any short route to education. You will finance education.
From Gen Zs who walked the streets in protest because they know what free education gives them and they know what it means to lose it.
I would like to meet the new president of Kenya because he abolished school fees for poor children and 1 million extra children showed up at school. I think that that's something that's likely to affect more lives positively than almost anything any other political leader will do this year.
Dear Mzee Kibaki, we miss you. We remember the day you stood and told us education will be free. And just like that, children who sold mangoes, who washed cars, or even stayed at home, walked into school with smiles on their faces and books in their hands. You changed everything. You made a child from Turkana feel the same as one from Karen. You made us equal in a classroom.
Haya, tuendelee. Na yeyote ambaye hasomeshi mtoto wake, huyu tunataka tumjue ili tuchape viboko. Oh yes. Hakuna mtu ambaye hasomeshi mtoto na anatembea huko na hajui kama mtoto alikwenda shule. Hiyo ni mtu bure.
Mzee, if you came back today, you'd cry. The schools are still there, but the desks are empty. Not because they are not children, but because their parents can no longer afford what you made free.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi says the capitation of 22,244 shillings per secondary school student is now no longer tenable.
The new government says that the economy is growing.
Since August 2022, Kenya has recorded an average annual growth of an average of 5%, outperforming the global average of 3.3% and the regional average of 3.8%.
But we, the people, are breaking. They cut capitation.
The government can only manage 16,900 shillings per learner.
They delayed the money. They told parents to pay what the government can't. Meanwhile, leaders drive in big cars. They fly abroad.
Kenya's President William Ruto has defended his decision of hiring a private jet.
They throw parties and they bribe each other to stay in power.
Kwa juzi tuliona rais wetu ameshukua 6 billion kwenda kuhoga rais wa nchi fulani.
Gachagua told us, yes, the money is there, but they are using it to campaign for 2027, not to teach the poor.
I have just seen a clip in 2017 when William Ruto was deputy president. He was saying that if re-elected together with Uhuru Kenyatta, free education for primary and secondary will continue.
Kuanzia Januari mwaka ujao, masomo kutoka standard 1 mpaka form 4 itaendelea bila ya wazazi kulipa school fees.
He is president. He has trashed all that. And what is sad is that this money that was meant for free education has been diverted by the National Treasury, by the experts ODM brought to government. They have diverted money for education. The money is channeled through the security sectors, is withdrawn in cash and given to William Ruto.
You see that crowd, mzee? The ones who they call troublemakers? Those are your children. They were shaped by your dream. They learned to read because of you. Now they are standing in the streets because they know something precious is being stolen from them. Mzee, some say our budget can't handle free education anymore.
And by the way, let us not live a lie. If you take all the children in Kenya who are in high school, senior secondary school, if you take all of them and divide with our budget, which we give them, it is less than 22,000 shillings. That is what I'm saying. We don't have the capacity as at now.
But Jimmy Wanjigi showed us the truth. The money is there. We just need honest leaders.
Na tunalipa 2 trillion deni mwaka huu. If we don't pay the 2 trillion, we can pay for everybody's education and everybody's health care, and it's only 300 billion. This year we are paying 2 trillion for madeni.
Others like you planned for the future. Today, they plan for elections.
Na hiyo 2027 nitakuwa nimejipanga mbaya sana.
You build schools, they are building campaigns.
That education remains the most important tool for the empowerment. We have the intention to make sure that all children do get education, and those that are held up at various camps which we have set up, we will make sure that they go to school as soon as possible.
And what hurts the most is that they are not just killing free education, they are killing hope.
So the rationale behind the introduction of free primary education by the late former president Mwai Kibaki, hiyo kwa economics inaitagwa fiscal policy. So fiscal policies, these are policies that are used by the government to drive the economy towards a desired direction. So hii ya Kibaki ya kuinvest in education, it is an expansionary fiscal policy, because sasa hiyo pesa yenye wewe kama mzazi ungetumia kulipia school fees, hiyo pesa unatumia to do other things.
Mzee Kibaki, we wish you could see the love we still have for you, the impact you made in our lives, in our teachers, in our doctors, in every Gen Z on the streets holding a banner. You taught us that leadership is about giving, that when a child learns, a nation rises.
And as I look around the whole world where Kenyans have migrated to, we have enormous supply of qualified manpower and women power all over the world. And we hope that they'll come back and that they'll join us in building that new Kenya.
And we promise you this, we will not let your legacy die. We will fight for free education, because it is not just a policy, it is a right. It is our future.
An educated nation resists dictatorship, but an educated nation obeys blindly. Mr. President, where does Kenya's future stand? Niaje wase, leo tuongee facts. President Ruto spends over 106 billion Kenya shillings every year on bursaries and education funding. Yani, in other words, that comes to 1.7 trillion spent over the entire 16 years of CBC schooling. Yet back in 2002, and with a national budget of only 300 billion Kenya shillings, President Kibaki gave us free education within his first 7 days in office. Today, with a budget of 4 trillion, free education is still out of reach. And let's be real, we don't need all these overlapping bursaries and funds. At 32 billion in university loans, 30 billion in university fund, 20 billion in county bursaries, 20 billion in CDF bursaries, 3 billion in presidential bursaries, and 1 billion women rep bursaries. Mr. President, instead of channeling these billions through boards like CDF that consume millions, especially in per diems, air tickets, benchmarking, and sitting allowance, why not take this 106 billion directly to schools as capitation for each student, make education truly free, like during the Kibaki era? Because let's be honest, Mr. President, your expensive model is pushing students out of school, not because they're not bright, but because they just can't afford it. Mr. President, think about the future. Don't fail Kenya, and don't fail the next generation.